Imagine sending an email, right?
Yeah.
Just a simple email with a news link. And then, like, minutes later, a witty, totally shareable meme based on that exact article lands in your inbox. No coding. Feels like pure magic. Beat. But it's not magic, is it? It's brilliant, accessible AI.
Welcome to the deep dive. Today, we're really getting into the weeds with a fascinating guide, how to build an AI meme generator, a no-code guide. And yeah, it sounds fun, but it's actually a really clear blueprint for turning what seems like complex AI into practical tools you can actually build yourself. Our mission here for this deep dive is to unpack the layers of this magic trick. We want to understand how a no-code AI agent can, watch emails, pull out content, figure out a meme concept, make the image, and then send it back, all automated.
Right.
And maybe more importantly, what does this really mean for the bigger picture of automation? For anyone out there with an idea? So we'll kind of walk through the assembly line of this whole thing, from like the mailroom to shipping it out. And then we can step back and look at the huge potential of this no-code AI stuff.
Okay, so let's start with the core concept. We're talking about building a fully automated AI meme generator. And the kicker, zero code involved.
Zero code.
Yeah, and this isn't just theory, like we're just talking about it. The guide actually walks you through deploying a real agent.
Yeah.
You end up with a working tool. It's pretty cool.
And from the user's side, it's just elegant, really. You send an email, maybe just a link to a news article, to a specific address. And then, a few minutes later, maybe while you're grabbing coffee, boom, a professionally generated meme, totally relevant to the article, just shows up, ready to share.
And all the complex stuff, the thinking, the creating, it's all happening behind the curtain. You just send an email, that's it.
Exactly. While it feels instant, there's actually this detailed sequence happening. The system's watching your inbox.
Constantly, too.
Then it grabs the link, reads the article.
Pulls out the actual content, yeah.
Then the AI brain kicks in, comes up with a witty meme idea.
Based on that content.
Generates the image, formats it perfectly, adds the text.
Top text, bottom text, the whole deal.
And then delivers it right back to you. Finished.
And the really significant part here, the why it matters bit, is that this whole thing runs on autopilot. In the cloud.
Right.
Think about who needs this. Content creators, social media managers, anyone who needs to react quickly to current events with something engaging.
It takes a huge chunk of the manual labor out of it, doesn't it? Lets you focus on the bigger strategy.
Totally. So this no-code thing, how does it fundamentally change who actually gets to build tools like this?
Well, simply put, no-code democratizes creation. It makes complex AI accessible to anyone with an idea, not just the programmers. And while it's a meme generator in this guide, it really shows off the power of these no-code platforms for like really sophisticated AI workflows. It's a great example.
Yeah, I like the analogy of thinking of a platform like make.com as digital Legos,
Yeah, that works.
It's visual. You drag and drop these blocks to build out complex automations. No need to stare at lines of code or figure out tricky syntax. You're just connecting things. It makes it way less intimidating.
And these platforms, they connect everything. They're like the central switchboard linking dozens of apps and AI services, Google Gemini, ChatGPT, Gmail, Google Sheets. They can all talk to each other through this hub.
It's pretty seamless. And, I'll admit, I still wrestle with prompt drift myself sometimes.
Yeah.
Getting the AI syntax exactly right, keeping it consistent, it can be tricky.
Oh, yeah.
So I really appreciate how no-code kind of smooths that over. It makes these incredibly powerful tools feel much more approachable for, everyone.
Right. And prompt drift, just quickly, is when your AI kind of starts forgetting or slightly changing what you originally told it to do over time. Makes getting consistent results a pain. So what this means for you, the listener, is that if you're not a coder, if you're a creative person or an entrepreneur, you can now build serious, scalable AI tools. Tools that run 24/7 in the cloud.
You don't need a huge budget or a dev team anymore, just the idea and the willingness to connect those Legos.
Okay, so thinking about removing barriers, what's maybe the single biggest hurdle that going no-code really helps you jump over when you're trying to build with AI?
It just eliminates the programming barrier. It lets creative ideas directly become powerful automated solutions. Simple as that. All right, let's dive into the actual process. The assembly line metaphor works well here, I think, step by step.
Okay, step one, the mailroom. This is basically the Gmail module in make.com. It's the front door waiting for those work orders, the emails.
It uses the watch emails function, so it's constantly keeping an eye on the inbox like a super focused mail clerk.
But it's not looking at every email, right? There's filtering.
Exactly. That's the pro move, the VIP entrance. You set up filters, maybe only emails from you, or only emails with headline or news in the subject line.
Smart.
Yeah, so it doesn't waste energy processing your Amazon shipping notifications or whatever. Keeps it efficient, focused only on the relevant stuff, like a bouncer.
Okay, so the right email gets past the bouncer. Now step 2, the extractor. Quality control time.
Right. Its only job is to find the news article link in that email and get rid of everything else, just the URL.
And how does it do that?
It uses a text parser module. You give it a specific pattern, basically a little code that says, look for things that start with HTTP or HTTPS, and it just grabs any web link it finds. Super reliable for isolating the URL.
Got it. So you have the clean URL.
How critical, really, is that initial filtering step for making sure the whole system works well and doesn't just get bogged down?
Oh, it's absolutely crucial for efficiency. It prevents wasted processing on irrelevant or unwanted emails, keeps things lean. Okay, assembly line keeps moving. Step 3 is the researcher. What's its job?
Its job is to take that URL we just extracted, go to the actual news website, and grab all the content, the whole article.
How's that done?
You use an HTTP module configured to make a JKey request. Think of it like knocking on the website's door and saying, hey, can I have all the data for this page?
And it brings back the raw HTML, the code of the page.
Exactly. That's the raw material the AI needs for the next step.
Which is step 4, the creative director. Sounds important.
It is. This is where the AI magic really happens. We're talking about the Google Gemini module here. It's the brain.
Okay.
It takes that raw HTML, analyzes the actual content of the article, and then comes up with a smart, funny meme concept based on it. This is the creative spark.
So you need to set this up, connect your Gemini API key, like a password for accessing the AI.
Yep, your access pass. And then you choose the model. The guide suggests Gemini 2.5 Flash. Good balance of speed and smarts for this kind of task.
And then you give it instructions, the prompt.
The briefing, yeah. This is super important. You tell Gemini, act like a witty meme creator. And you tell it exactly what to output. Not just the idea, but pick a template from a listrit. You give it options like Drake hotline bling, distracted boyfriend, etc., and provide the exact top text, bottom text, a tweet caption, and alt text for accessibility.
And critically, it has to pick a different template each time, right? To keep it fresh.
Yes, very important detail. Variety is key.
And there's another instruction, too, about the format.
Right, a crucial system instruction. You are a formatter. Return raw JSON only. This leads to the blueprint, the JSON output.
JSON, that's the structured data format.
Exactly. It's non-negotiable for automation. It organizes Gemini's output perfectly. Top text goes here, bottom text goes there. It makes sure the next steps get exactly what they expect every single time. No guesswork. It's the foundation for making this reliable.
So why is getting that output in precise, valid JSON format so absolutely critical at this stage? What breaks if it's messy?
Because valid JSON guarantees structured, usable data for all the following modules. It ensures the whole automation actually works reliably. Garbage in, garbage out otherwise. Okay, blueprint acquired. Step 5 is the blueprint reader. Simple but necessary.
What does it do?
It uses a JSON parser module. It takes that block of JSON text from Gemini and just breaks it down into individual pieces. So now you have separate variables like top text equals this, bottom text equals that. Turns the plan into usable ingredients.
Makes sense. And then, step 6, the artist. This is where the image gets made.
Yep. Time to generate the actual meme image. This uses a model called Nano Banana, which is specialized for this kind of thing.
Another HTTP module.
Right, but this time it's a POEST request. Instead of getting data, you're sending instructions and data to the Nano Banana API to create something. You're commissioning the artwork.
And the instructions for the artist?
The briefing here combines those variables. We just parsed the template name, the top text, the bottom text, with styling rules.
Ah, the classic look.
Exactly. White impact font, heavy black outline, text-centered, square image, all the hallmarks of a classic meme. It ensures that recognizable look and feel.
You know, just pausing here, the idea of this whole chain reaction. Email triggers analysis, triggers creative concept, triggers image generation, churning out perfect, relevant memes in minutes. It's kind of staggering when you think about it. Imagine scaling this. I mean, maybe not billions a day right away, but handling hundreds or thousands for a campaign automatically. 2-sec silence? That's wild.
It really is. And dealing with that scale, or even just making one reliably, means handling the data properly. Which brings us neatly to step 7, the developer.
Okay, what needs developing?
The image format. Nano Banana, like a lot of these tools, sends back the image data as base64. It's basically a super long string of text characters that represents the image.
Not very useful on its own.
Not at all. You can't just put that in an email. So you need a service like Cloudinary to act as the developer. You send this base64 string to Cloudinary using another HTTP request.
A lot of HTTP requests in this.
Yeah, they're the messengers of the internet. Anyway, Cloudinary takes that code, processes it, and gives you back a normal, clean, public image URL. Like developing film into a usable photo.
Got it. So now we have a link to the finished meme image. Ready for the final step.
Step 8, the shipping department. Time for delivery.
Okay, what happens here?
First, another quick HTTP request to actually download the image file from that Cloudinary URL you just got. Now you have the actual JPG or PNG file.
Right.
Then you set up the Gmail send email module, recipient is you, for testing. Subject line uses the meme template name Gemini picked, so it's informative.
And the email body.
That includes the tweet caption and the alt text, also from Gemini.
Yeah.
Helpful stuff. And here's the final pro move.
Don't just attach it.
Right. Embed the image directly in the email body using something called a content ID. It makes the meme appear right there when you open the email. No clicking attachments. It's the complete visual package delivered.
Nice. Makes it instantly shareable.
Exactly. So what's the main advantage, the real user benefit of embedding that image directly in the email versus just attaching the file?
It delivers a complete, ready-to-use visual package right into the recipient's inbox. Instantly viewable, instantly shareable, much smoother experience. Okay, the assembly line is complete. Now it's about getting it running and thinking bigger. First step, the smoke test.
Yeah, the crucial end-to-end check. You send your test email with a news link.
Cross your fingers.
Then you manually trigger the whole scenario in make.com. You watch the little modules light up one by one, processing.generating.sending.
And the moment of truth is when that email lands back in your inbox, meme perfectly embedded, looking good.
Exactly. Once that works, you know the core logic is sound. Then it's time for the autopilot.
Setting the schedule.
Yep. Make.com lets you schedule it to run automatically. Every hour, twice a day, whatever you need.
So you could just send news links to that address throughout the day, and you'd get a steady stream of memes back.
Pretty much. It just runs in the background, checking for new emails, making memes, your own little content factory.
Of course things can go wrong. Troubleshooting. The field guide. What usually breaks?
Common culprits. JSON formatting errors are a big one. Often fixed by making your prompt to Gemini even more specific about the format.
Right. Tell it exactly what you expect.
Yeah. Base64 conversion issues sometimes pop up. Usually means you're not grabbing the right piece of data from the image generator's response.
Oh.
Double check that.
And API limits.
Ah, yeah. If you're running it a lot on a free plan, you might hit the usage limits for Gemini or Cloudinary. The fix there is usually just upgrading your plan.
And your pro tip for debugging.
Oh, yeah. Screenshot the error message. Seriously, just paste that screenshot into ChatGPT and ask, what's wrong here? 9 times out of 10, it'll spot the issue. Usually a simple data formatting mistake or a typo in an API setting. Saves so much head scratching.
That's a great tip. So this meme generator, it's fun, it works, but it's really just the start, isn't it? The tutorial level, like you said.
Totally. It's the foundation. The real excitement is thinking about how you build on this. How you go from a meme bot to, well, an automation empire.
The level up menu. What else could this do?
So many things. Change the Gemini prompt. Instead of memes, ask for blog post summaries or social media updates, or even draft video script ideas based on the article. Add more modules. Automatically post the generated content to Twitter, LinkedIn, maybe even Instagram.
Multi-platform publishing, nice.
Or get smarter about input. Filter articles so it only processes links from specific trusted websites. Add analytics.track, which means get shared the most. Feed that back to Gemini to improve future prompts.
Wow, okay. That starts to sound really powerful.
It is, and this all points to the bigger picture, the future of no-code AI. It really feels like a shift.
The revolution, you said?
Maybe. A revolution in who gets to build these things. Powerful AI models, cloud platforms like Make.com, all these APIs talking to each other. It just lowers the barrier so much.
Things that used to need teams of developers.
Now can be built by one creative person with a good idea and a drag-and-drop interface. It's genuinely democratizing innovation.
So your journey starts here, basically. Start with something like this meme generator.
Get comfortable with the basics.
And then build out, add more features, tackle bigger problems.
Exactly. Because the skills you learn connecting APIs, handling data like JSON, writing clear prompts for AI, these are fundamental. You can use them to build research assistants, content schedulers, customer service bots, you name it.
The possibilities are huge.
And it's iterative, right?
Yep.
Start simple. Test. Add complexity. Test again. With no code, your creativity is really the main constraint.
Okay, stepping back from memes for a second. What's one surprising but really practical application of these no-code AI ideas for just like daily work or life?
Maybe automating personal research, like feeding in articles on a topic you follow and having it generate daily summaries. Or for small businesses, maybe a simple FAQ bot for their website. Saves a ton of time.
Yeah, I can see that. What really stands out to me from this whole discussion is just how much these no-code platforms open things up. It really is like digital Legos for powerful AI. It shifts the focus from coding to just connecting ideas.
Exactly. It's about empowerment. Giving anyone with a creative spark the tools to build and automate. This meme generator isn't just a toy. It's like lesson 1 in building your own automation empire.
Yeah.
Designed exactly how you want it.
And the core takeaway seems clear. Complex AI workflows. They're not locked away anymore. You can monitor information, analyze it, create something new, and deliver it all on autopilot. That's accessible now.
So your journey starts now, really. Grab a no-code platform, make.com, Zapier, others are out there. Start simple, play around, experiment.
Right.
The skills you pick up are seriously valuable building blocks for, well, almost anything you can imagine automating.
So the final thought maybe is this. If you can clearly define a repetitive process, any process, can AI and no code build it for you? What's that one task, that complex thing you do over and over that you could automate next? Free up your time, boost your creativity, something to think about. Thank you for joining us on this deep dive. We really hope it sparked some ideas for what you can build next. Otiro Music.